Hello viewers, Super GT here. In previous and recent videos you might have noticed I've been driving under the US flag. This is because my EU account has a shocking sportsmanship rating. But in this video we're going to attempt to recover aforementioned shocking sportsmanship rating. And as you can see, there was a fair amount of carnage along the way. That included, even once I did get back into the top tier lobbies, it wasn't much cleaner. The irony of Gran Turismo, really. But we start the day with our rating of 60 out of 99 for sportsmanship. The driver rating's okay, we're still A+, but it's that sportsmanship rating that we need to get back up to ideally above 90. Then we're back into the top lobbies. So what better way to improve your sportsmanship rating than jumping into Daily Race A, which is normally absolute carnage, normally abysmal. So we like to live life right on the edge here. So really I could just play it safe in Daily Race B, which is nice, a nice and easy race in Group 3 cars, but no. We're going to go all close quarters and risk losing sportsmanship in the name of content. Absolutely fantastic. You don't want to be going into the wall like that guy. Oh my goodness. And after that excruciating hit from that dude there, the Spaniard in the lead is going to go slightly wide and lose momentum. He's going to lose a position. I'm going to go up behind him here, trying to decipher which side of the circuit we should go. Going to go deep, try and cut him back. Are we able to do it? Yes, we are. We've got the old switcheroo going there. He wasn't very happy about it. He seems to want to crowd me to the edge of the track. No real need for that because I'm already up the inside. But into turn one, we get the moves finally sorted out. There we go. And now we have to deal with Bruni 181143. And looking for a way here, not quite going to work. Quite a tricky part of the track to overtake on here at Sardinia. Going to look for the old switcheroo once again. Our signature move there. Up the hill, we've got the inside line now into this corner. And we are going to get the move done. Although there is some contact. I tried to give him space. I'm on the inside. I've hit the apex. Not much more I could have done, really. Now, we are up behind the leader now. Just trying to get this final corner correct. And then we have the slipstream down the main straight. But the German behind, he had other ideas. Just wanted to torpedo in true Daniel Kvyat style. We did get back past him, albeit after he squeezed us to the outside. But we've lost more than a second there to the leader. So not the greatest move. And then we go for also not the greatest move into turn one with a huge dive bomb. Spaniard comes back at me. Now, it kind of shows you, it doesn't matter what kind of lobby you're in. You may well have a good race. You may well have a close battle with someone. Eventually we did try to go around the outside again, but it didn't quite work out on that occasion. Just come down the hill. We're going to have to settle into third. But once again, we're going to look for this move where you just nip underneath on the way out. And it looks like it's going to work. As we head into this corner, I've got most of the car alongside. And it looks like he's kind of just driven himself off. And there was a bit of contact, but again, I was on the inside, hit the apex, not more I could have done really. We finished second, and apparently that was a clean race. Apparently. We move up to A rating. So progress has been made despite that apparent clean race. We're going to move on to race B now, and this is more familiar territory for me. I don't normally jump into Daily Race A. It normally isn't the best idea if you want sportsmanship rating. I set a good time there, decent time, and that's going to put us on pole position for this one. Now, the guy behind, EA Sports, is in the game, and you might think, well, that's quite a low rating. Surely this guy, he can't be that quick. But you just never know with these lobbies. You never know who might be here. I mean, I'm here, and I shouldn't be here, really. I'm just here because I probably did a rage quit too many, and my rating dropped. That could be the same with that guy, you know. You're just never quite sure why people are here. They may well have just bought the game. Who knows? But whatever the reason is, Well, in this occasion, it looks as though he is a very quick player. And you mustn't underestimate him, because even after one lap, I was just 1.1 seconds ahead. I did manage to pull away. But even after the third lap, going on to lap 4, I was still only 1.2 seconds away. So actually, this guy was actually pretty quick, and he gave me a good race. And the gap came down to within slipstream range on the exit of this corner. And then he just made a mistake. So he's actually pushing hard. And ultimately, we came across the line to win that race. But it was only a 2-second gap, and for most of the race, he's only 1 second behind. Rating is blue there, therefore it goes up. It's actually 72 out of 99 now. Like I said, you need it to be above 90. So we're clawing our way back. I decided to do another race around Dragon Trail Gardens here. It was an easy win this time, thankfully. And our rating went up again. That's exactly what you want. You want to ideally be on pole position, then just drive away. And then you don't have to deal with anyone. But on this one, we're going to go back to taking a risk too many by starting at the back in Daily Race C. Daily Race C is good for improving sportsmanship because it's a longer race. There's more sectors to go through. There's more chances for you to improve your rating. But of course you can only do 2 of them in an hour. The Belgian up the inside, smashing straight into the Italian. Poor Italian just gets absolutely dive bombed. And that is something I'm noting down mentally. This guy, the Belgian, is an absolute maniac. And that should hopefully not occur again, although he is going to dive up the inside. I saw it coming on the radar. It goes a little bit wide there. So these are the things you always have to be paying attention to. You just never know with these people. They could just launch you from a million postcodes back. Now, luckily at this corner he didn't. The Finnish driver just drives off the circuit. Does his best Alex Albon impression there. And end of lap 1. Up behind a Ferrari, who I think he just nudges that other car wide. Comes back onto the track and we got the inside of him as well. So up into 12th there, end of lap 1. Again, just trying to avoid contact where possible. Sometimes it's actually very difficult. Even if you give people as much space as you really can, you can still make contact. So it can be tricky. A lot of people do ask me, how do I get out of the lower rated lobbies? And yeah, sometimes it is hard. You just need to avoid contact and penalties wherever you can, even if it means being too nice to other people. The BMW gets smacked in the rear end there. I'm going to try and pivot off the apex and try to get up his inside of the way out. It doesn't quite work. We are going to tuck into his toe. The guy in the VW just wants to make contact there for no real reason, but then because he's going to serve his penalty anyway. But we move up into 10th, looking down the hill. Are we going to go for this move? Yes, we are. Bit of contact, tiny bit of contact. There's a yellow flag as well. And we move up into 8th. Up behind Sergeant God Mode. Very ominously named guy. I don't know why he's in 7th. If he's in God Mode, why is he not in the lead? And why is he in this lobby? Should be number 1 in the world, right? If he's got God Mode enabled. We're going to try to nip underneath on the way out here. There we go. Gives us the inside line for the penultimate corner. As we just go over this crest of the hill. And we met the apex. We slot in ahead up into 7th place. Up behind now the Renault with the Alpine livery. Now this is where things can get tricky because on the one hand I don't really want to overtake into turn 1 because it's best to wait until turn 3. But if I don't overtake here and I don't, then the guy behind goes up the inside and then it all kind of kicks off and it all goes a bit chaotic and mental. And now there's 4 of us in the space of not much space. So I've lost a couple of positions there. It's getting very, very close indeed. I've just got to play this one nice and careful because, of course, yes, I want to make progress, but simultaneously don't want to lose rating by getting an inadvertent penalty. God Mode is getting absolutely annihilated there by the Czech driver, and he drops down a couple of positions. We've got to be wary now of a potential dive bomb into the next corner from a very angry driver. I'm going to go up the inside here, but then out of nowhere the Spaniard comes flying in and says hi. And then Sergeant Godmo comes back. So this is the kind of battle I really just do not want to be in. And it's not a particularly intelligent battle from anyone involved, perhaps including myself. I need to just get out of it, ideally. But no one's having any of it. And then on the exit here, just get really run wide. And we lose another position. So at this point, I thought, because this is race C, we have to do a pit stop. I'm just going to get out of this battle, this car up the inside, let him go. So I can get to the right-hand side, the inside. We're going to bail out of this battle and live to fight another day. Change our tyres, get some clear air, get out of the fight, and hopefully make time by going for an alternative strategy. So get the pit stop done. We move back down to the 14th position, but now is the time to put on some good lap times in clear air and try to gain on the other drivers. Our lunging Belgian friend there having a bit of an accident. End of lap number 5 now. A couple of other cars going into the pit lane, so we are going to begin to just gain some positions back. The tyre wear wasn't very high in this race, so it didn't really matter when you went for your pit stop, I don't think. But we set the fastest lap there, so that's a good sign that we are going quicker than everyone else, so we're gaining time on everyone, so that's a good thing. We do get a penalty there though. That could be catastrophic for getting back to our S-rated sportsmanship. We set another fast lap here. This is the beginning of lap 8. A couple of cars just coming out of the pit lane. By this point, we are in 6th position. So, 7th position. So slightly higher than we were. Got the Czech driver there in the BMW just behind, who we have gained upon during the pit stop phase. So a little bit of a battle here between the Italian and the Norwegian driver. We're going to try and pick our way past. Quite tricky track to overtake on in time at certain points. Like this middle sector can be quite tricky. It's the last and middle sector, which is the last and first sector a bit easier, especially the first sector. Up the inside here, and we are going to get ahead up into 6th, and going to try and gain onto the Norwegian as we do. 1 lap later, lap 9. The top 2 going into the pit lane at this point. He's going to go defensive. I'm not quite going to go for this move, not here. You want to be sensible when you go for your moves. And as I say, Sector 1 is probably the best place to do it. And therefore, we're just going to wait for now. Get the toe. If he goes wide, then yeah, sure, go past. But at the moment, we are just going to give him a bump draft. I'd rather not overtake into turn 1, because then you just get re-overtaken into turn 3. You might as well leave it. So we're just going to let him take this turn normally. Up into 5th by this point now. So we take that turn nicely. And then go into the slipstream. Going to move left. He's going to cover the inside. Fair enough. We are only less than 3 laps away from the end now. So well within time to start fighting for your position. Although I would say 3rd, possibly 2nd is still on here, depending on how quick 2nd is. Up the inside. Well, it wasn't really the inside. He just kind of bailed out before the braking zone. So up into 4th. Up behind the Ferrari. Down the hill through turn 4, onto the power, using the extra curb. Bit of a moment on the exit, but we gained by the end of the lap through the penultimate corner, dropping downhill towards the final corner, right behind the Ferrari now. 2 laps to go. Could we get a podium from 17th on the grid? Yes, it was a lower rated lobby, but still. He's going to be very defensive, and I'm not really going to do anything here. Again, the tactic is just to wait for turn 3. He takes a bit of a... Well, it was a good line, but he slid through it, lost momentum. I tried to go past him there, but I just made contact with the rear quarter panel and then lose all of my speed. And with 1.5 laps left to go, we're still looking for this podium. 2nd place is probably out of the question. I'm going to go for the switchback, the old switcheroo, and he just really parks it on the apex. Did not expect that. So it's a bit frustrating. And by this point, I felt like I am just going to go for this move. I don't really care. I want the inside, and I'm going to take the inside. And we're just going to do it there. Sending it brutally up the inside. We've got it. The most brute force move you're going to see all day, that. And now we're suddenly on the podium. By the end of the race, that was it really. We couldn't really catch 2nd. They were too far away. And we did manage just to edge away from the Frenchman in the Ferrari. Although... turns out that the Italian in the lead forgot to pit, and you have to pit, and then boom, across the line, and he gets a massive 1 minute penalty. and drops way down the order in his Bugatti Veyron. So we finished second, and we do get a blue letter. We're now S-rated. We're back, boys, ladies and gentlemen. 95 out of 99, it worked. We are finally back, but we are about to witness the irony of Gran Turismo, which is that it's not always cleaner in the higher rated lobbies. Just depends which maniac you come across in the race. This time we're going to start 5th. So let's take a look at this one then. In fact, in this one, there was a fair amount of carnage. So let's see. So Dragon Trail Gardens. Pretty cool little track, this one. Lots of different types of corner. I've gone for the Audi R8, which is a very good handling car. Good around the long, twisty corners. And not as good on the straights, but you know, it's good through the corners, and there's lots of corners, so that's the main thing really. And we've got quite a few different cars on offer here. Supra just in front. In front of them, it looks like we have the Renault RS01. In front of them, it looks like an Intenza. Behind, we've got a Peugeot RCZ. What's that in the lead? In the lead is an R8 as well, I think. So quite a few different cars being chosen here, which is always good to see. Now, through lap 1 here, the pace is okay, but you can see that the overall standard is higher. Everyone's a lot faster, which is fantastic. Great to see. But it will descend in just a moment's time. Into the long quadruple right-hander, which opens up slightly with every apex you go through. Onto the back straight towards the final corner. The Supra just in front, very, very quick car. And it's going to be really hard to actually overtake that car in a straight line. That car actually one of the best in a straight line. Not the best, but very, very good. Very, very capable. So that's the end of lap 1. He just has a bit of a moment there. We're firmly into the slipstream. And we're not quite out of the slipstream range of the car behind, but we're certainly closer to 4th than we are to 6th. And through here, I'm just lining up a move into turn 2. So you can see how good this car is handling-wise. I'm just going to dart to the inside, move left off that corner, brake slightly later, head towards the apex. And he just didn't really want to have that at all. So I think for an overtake to happen, you need the car being overtaken to cooperate to some extent. He didn't really want to cooperate. I think it was a fine move, but he just didn't really want it to happen. So he kind of turned in, and then I'm all over the place. So coming down here, the Spaniard overtakes, and then I think the German shows his dismay here by just running us slightly wide and then moving back up into 4th. So just an unfortunate set of events there, and it kind of gets worse for me here into the final corner. We just get edged slightly wide there, and then the Italian's able to get up the inside on the way out, and we moved down into 7th. So at one point there we were 4th. We end the lap in 7th. Not the greatest lap of all time, but there's still time to recover. 3 laps here remaining. Looks like 4th is still very much on, but the top 3 perhaps not. So into the sausage chicane of death. Very, very tricky, especially this last apex here. Very, very tricky to get dead right. The Spaniard there with a bit of a moment, and loses crucial momentum. We're going to get past him on the way out here. Just have a look at the Italian just up in front in 5th. He's going to go on the dive bomb now of the German and run him completely wide. So, so the German driver just gets completely shafted, and now the new person to watch out for is this Italian driver who goes really slow for some reason. He sort of invites this overtake, and then he kind of just turns in. I don't know why he's going so slow. Kind of very weird driving for that moment. So it's like he's enticing you into a move, and then he'll just turn across you last second. So it's a bit strange. So out onto the back straight towards the final corner. Let's see what happens here, because he's going very slow, because that Supra is not that slow. He's lifting off for sure. So he lets me go up the inside, but then just watch the radar. He comes back and punts me off into the wall. So at least in the lower rated lobbies, we didn't have deliberate ramming. So this is the funny thing, really. And what lap are we on now? Lap number 4. Again, he's still slowing down, waiting. He's obviously a quick guy, but just also a bit of a maniac. So we got the inside here. Similar sort of idea. Just runs us wide, then he goes south. Luckily, I'll go through him. And then I'm back into the vicinity of my German friend once more. So, a very questionable race. And I'd like to delve deep into the mind of that guy, the Italian. Really see what's going on in that mind. But perhaps not much at all. I think that's the actual answer. But this was the end of the race. Because of all those incidents, we find ourselves down in 6th of all positions to end up in. And I was able to catch up with this Corvette, but I wasn't able to overtake. And therefore, we are going to wrap up this video with a 6th position finish. And a decent lap there, 29.8. It's across the line. But that's it. A funny little adventure on our way back to S rating. And it wasn't necessarily any cleaner when we got there. But thank you everyone for watching. I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.